Now, our next speaker is also, there's a kind of parent thing going on, but in a very different way, I think. So we welcome to the stage Emma Case, who can tell us about Jimmy Case.
Okay. Hi everyone. Every time I head to Liverpool to take photos around Anfield, it always hits me just how important this is for me. And I'm just grateful for things like tonight for me to be able to try and articulate it a bit more. So RED is a community arts archive project by me, Emma Case. I'm a photographer, and my dad, Jimmy Case, played for Liverpool from 1975 to 1981. He doesn't look like that anymore. He was part of one of the most successful Liverpool sides, winning 4 league titles, 3 European Cups, the UEFA Cup and the League Cup. I was born in Liverpool, and that same year, 1981, my dad was transferred down south, and as a kid, Dad playing for Southampton was what I mostly remember. But I didn't pay much attention. I was too interested in other boys, and I'm immensely proud of what he achieved, but it was just part and parcel of life. Until my dad wrote an autobiography a few years ago, and reading him talk about his 19-year-old self being signed for Liverpool, I just was really interested in how it felt to be there. So I started visiting Anfield, taking portraits of fans, chatting with them. How's Jimmy? Tell him to get his boots back on. That's actually not on my card to say that. But what I noticed more was how Anfield was changing dramatically, and the history seemed to be disappearing. So I started taking photos of the surrounding landscape, and I focused on the streets around Anfield. But the project didn't really start to come into its own until I saw a project in the Midlands called the Living Memory Project that was asking the general public to send in their own photos. So I set up a website and I asked fans to send me their photos, and wow, they delivered. It was photos from match days, coach trips to Europe, 6-year-olds stood in their new jerseys. The photos were incredible. And just, they'd been shared in maybe the odd Facebook group. So I started to share them on the website, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you could literally feel the joy from the comments of football fans sharing old stories, and it just leapt off the page. It felt really important to try and capture it and save it and just celebrate it. So it wasn't just photo. This is probably one of my favourite photos. I mean, look at the guy at the top. I think that's actually Emlyn Hughes. But I wasn't just sent photos. I started being sent things like scrapbooks and programmes and badges. I was sent old photo albums, and it kind of snowballed, to be honest. There was one photo album full of photos of just the match from really, really far away. But actually, when you really look, they're really important matches, and for some reason I absolutely just love the repetition of them. I was also sent letters, and one letter, a really personally written letter from Mr. Shankly to one of the fans. These things need to be kept, and I'm really surprised that they haven't yet. So what I thought was, actually, I want to go and speak to the fans. So I started turning up at people's houses and interviewing them for 6 hours, talking about their first match, going to Anfield on their own when they're 6, or knocking on Shankly's door for an autograph and getting asked for a cup of tea, come in for a cup of tea. So then I wanted to give it back. So with Riverside Housing, we set up a pilot workshop called Down Memory Lane, and I spent the afternoon talking about Liverpool, the matches, the fans. We sang You'll Never Walk Alone. I cried a lot. But this is the next step. I am wanting to take over a shop on Walton Breck Road, the old Anfield pharmacy, and I'm talking to the council at the moment, so if everyone can keep their fingers crossed, because I really want to do it for next season. And then the goal is to create a beautiful book full of portraits and interviews and as many fans' photos so that I can give the fans' photos back to the fans. But Red has grown in ways that I never ever could have imagined. Without growing up here, Liverpool and Liverpool Football Club is my home, and I am just so happy to be surrounding myself with my history, something that I didn't even realise I was missing. Thank you.